What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project, the Aston Martin Vantage. This is the 777 edition, looking pretty insane. We got it from the auction house. It's in pretty good condition. The lowest part on there is the body, and I think that's more to do with the fact that a few panels are missing. The engine in this one is the V12 AM11. 636 factory horsepower. We will be putting performance parts all over this engine today, trying to make it as insane as we can to get it up to the drag strip and try and win another drag tournament and see maybe if we can get this beast into the top 10 on the speeder board. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Did I get a good deal on this one? I did. 76,375 is what we paid, and I could sell it for 82,542, making 6,167 before we even begin. It's looking pretty insane. I think we got a few bits missing. There's definitely a fender missing here, hence that's clipping. I think these just need repairing and then they'll stop clipping a little bit. And obviously we need the fender on this side. As regards to everything else, that engine in there looks pretty complete. We have got all four wheels on, so that's also a good sign. If we just scroll out a little bit there, everything on the underside looks pretty complete. I think the engine bay is also pretty complete in there. So let's get this beast started. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. Here we are then in the car wash with the beautiful Vantage. Let's just get that body clean and see what we've got going on underneath this dust and grime. What colour are you? What colour are you? What? I don't even know what colour that's meant to be. But there we go. Let's get the interior done. Get this beast back on the lift. Get that engine ripped out of there. Get everything else stripped down. Vantage in the air. Let's check for that oil pan. And we've got a big item in there so we can't see. So let's get in. There is an oil pan there. There we go. So we need to get that all drained out. Let's get you going. Dirty, clean, indifferent. Somewhere in the middle. Not clean, but not dirty. But there we go. Let's get underneath and see what we need to take out to get into this beautiful car. Is it four-wheel drive? Definitely not. Just rear-wheel drive. And we've got this beautiful tunnel at the back. And we need to get the rear wheels and rear drive axles off. So let's crack on and let's get started with that. I'll get these out and I'll be back in a second. There we go. That's the wheels and drive axles out. Now, where does the starter go on this? Do I need to add it now, or does it go in up the top? It goes in up the top, I believe. I can't quite click on it. Can't quite get it. There's the starter. I just wanted to make sure it was there before I take anything out. There we go. Let's get the rear gearbox section out of here. Out you come. And then we've got that big old tunnel to remove as well after we've taken out that cheeky little starter. There we go. Out you come. And let's get this big tunnel out of here. Nice and big. I love this big piece. It does look pretty awesome. There we go. That's you out. And I think we will grab these front exhaust sections as well, just to be on the safe side. Now let's try and pull that big old engine straight out of that engine bay. Grabbing the engine crane, get you to the front of the car, and let's give this a go. Open the hood. Ah, no. What do we need to move? The air intake hose. There we go. I've forgotten something already. That's these two pieces at the end. Are you going to tell me to take anything else out, or will that be it? That is it. Nice and simple. After missing a bit, obviously. But let's get in and see what else we've got going on inside this engine bay. Well, there's a wishy-washy reservoir there. Cheeky little fuse box up there. Brake servo, coolant reservoir, and the ABS pump and module. Plus down here we have a radiator, a fan housing kit, and two air filters just dotted either side of them down there. What have we got? Batteries down the back. Let's pick you up. Along with the ECU, we'll grab you as well while we're here. And we'll also grab the fuel pump. I don't think there was anything missing. Obviously, it's going to say there is now. A couple of bits there, a couple of bits there, and nothing else missing at the front. That is what we like to see. So now let's get some liquids drained. We know the drill by now. We need to go into normal mode. And we need to go to additional tools, drain tool. Click and hold on the container, and it will drag everything out. No power steering by the looks of this on this beautiful Aston Martin. So I'm going to get the rest of this drained, then we'll get it stripped out. Then we'll come back and sort the bodywork out for this beautiful car. That's everything mechanical, repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on our beautiful Vantage. Just need to sort the bodywork out, so let's start getting it off. Floaty headlight, loving that. Out you come. Off with all of these pieces. That's a front end as well in there. What else have we got? Can't really see much. Windshield. Then we've got the door, mirror, and window. Lovely. A little quarter panel window there. Anything there? No. Rear bumper, rear tail lights. Trunk window and all of that jazz. Nice. Oh, and the other tail light. Nice and easy. Car part one is the exhaust, but it is separate, so we can paint it if we need to. Then the rear right fender, that massive side skirt on there, looking great. Off with the door. We nearly forgot the rear quarter panel window. And I think that might be everything. Let's just jump in and grab this interior out and then have a double check. Steering wheel missing by the looks of that. Yes, it is. But there we go. I think that might be everything. Let's have a check into here. 1% on that screen. We always like that. But have I got something? I have. Car part 2. So I need to figure out what that is. I'll see you in a second. Nice and easy to find. It is just the trim just up here. And I honestly feel like I should not have missed that. That should be everything. Nothing on there. Nothing on there. The frame's at 80%. And I bought the car for a little over 75,000. I don't think this is going to be quite a lot. I'm going to say 750. 1,000. I was not far off. Let's just jump in and take a very quick look at the body shop for the Vantage. 6 pages. Lots of different exhaust black tips, quite liking that, but we're probably going to paint ours a full colour, so maybe just the rear D-bumper. We'll see what we come to. Then we got all of these wide body bits, not the brilliantly labelled stuff that we normally have on there, so we'll have to figure out what goes where. We are probably going to rebuild it as it comes. Okay, a bit further down, they're a bit more well-labelled. Black trim, chrome trim. That's the carbon black edition and things like that. Lots of options, though. Fenders and doors, we like that. Lots more options there. A few different hood options to play with. Then we got the lights with DRL on, tinted, so on and so forth. Same for the rear lights. They're looking quite smart down there. Not a big fan of them ones, but I do like these. They look awesome. And then we've obviously got the rear bumpers, the wide body fenders. That's where I was getting confused there. Some trunk option, lots of trunk options actually. We're gonna have to play around with this one, and then a couple of spoiler options for the rear window at the back there, and that's it for the Vantage. So we got ours all sorted. We need to get the bodywork back together, and then take this little beast into the paint shop to give it some colour. Time to get our wide-body Vantage all back together. Let's get stuck into it and start getting it back together. I have changed the hood to the V12 Vantage S Carbon Black Edition just because I like the vents. I think it looks pretty cool in there. Front fender is the V12 Vantage S wide body with black trim. They start just the wide body with black trim without the V12. But as we have got a V12, and there's a little V12 badge down there, I thought it was quite fitting, so we'll get them on. Looking quite good. The front bumper, just the wide body front bumper that was on it. The front end, we did swap to the one with these little struts in. I just think it looks a little cooler. And hopefully it'll work with what we're going for with the colours later. Tinted lights with the DRL on, as I said I was going to go for. Windshield in Yugo. Then we've got the V12 Vantage S only black trim doors, which are what came on it. So we're sticking with them. In with the window, and on with them Vantage carbon mirrors. Then we got the black trim going around the windows there, and this beautiful wide body fender going on. Does do this a little bit, but once it's all painted the same colour, you'll never notice the difference at all. Wide body at the rear bumper, and then we've got the V12 trunk with the black trim. Lovely little tail lights on there. I'm hoping, well, we'll see how this turns out with the livery a little bit later, because they looked like they were white on the thing, so maybe we will make them white later. Car part 1, we just stuck with the same one that came on it. It fits really well, and I didn't want the black tips into the carbon fibre. Might have taken away from it just a little bit. Let's get this side on, and you can see that you lose all of that sort of pixelation stuff there when it is colour matched. On with the other door, in with the window, and that carbon fibre mirror. And then we'll get this big old spoiler connected to the rear window at the back there. Looking absolutely fantastic. One more piece to go on the body, which is this lovely rear license plate. I've got a blank one on me, which I've just gone for AMV, Aston Martin Vantage 777 on there. Looking quite good. I think that's everything for the exterior, but we'll get in and get the interior in, and then we'll come back. As you can see, I have changed the seats. We've gone for the beautiful Vantage seats in our Aston Martin Vantage, along with the Vantage steering wheel as well. It just looks pretty cool. These are probably my favourite seats. I just don't use them more often because they say Vantage on them. That's the only reason. I love how they colour and how they look. It's always fantastic. Now, is this everything? 100%, 100%, 100% fantastic. Let's get this beast into the paint shop and get some colour on it. Well, there she is then, looking fantastic. We've gone for a metallic finish on this wonderful Vantage here today. This beautiful livery is by Zaraki, and what it does is it gets all these accents in the orange. There's a little trim down the bottom as well. It's harder to see just down there across the front. Then you get these stripe details on the side coming off the vents, along with that orange down the bottom as well. And then a bit more orange just down the back there. Obviously, orange and the blue on the spoiler there, and a little bit of black just on the hood, circling around them carbon fibre vents. Looking fantastic on there. I think this looks absolutely beautiful. And obviously you can see we've gone for a splash of that accent orange on the interior, and it looks so good. I'm incredibly pleased with this one. Open up the hood, and we haven't got much blue in there either, mostly sort of silvers and blacks, so we can do a full blue and orange engine build, which hopefully is going to look absolutely insane. Looking forward to that one. So I need to get everything painted and then get this one all back together. So let's get this beast back onto the lifter to free up this paint booth so I can get all of the parts painted and ready for reassembly. That's everything painted, ready to go back on our beautiful Vantage. Let's get it started, and this is going to look weird because I haven't painted some of these parts. The main part of the shock absorber, not painted. The front spring is in an orange, and the cap also isn't painted on there, but they look absolutely fantastic. Very, very pleased with them. Down the back's very similar. No colour on this bit, orange spring, but we did put a bit of black on that cap just to stop it being so silver in there. Looking very nice. Let's start getting it all into the car, though, and see where we end up. The front suspension crossmember is in that body match blue. Steering rack and sway bar are both in the orange on there. And we're going to throw the rubber bushings in now, just to be on the safe side. There we go, and there we go. We've got the front steering knuckle in the lovely blue. The inner tie rod is in an orange. And then the outer tie rod's just in a cheeky little white, just for a bit more brightness down here. Along with both the upper and lower suspension arms. They are also in a white as well, just for an added bit of something a little bit different, and I quite like it. It looks really good in my opinion. Let's get that shock on in its black and orange, and then we've got a lovely little blue sway bar end link on there as well, just splashing in a bit more of that. Knuckle cover is also in the white because, I don't know, it just really works and I really liked it. Then we've got the wheel hub in the blue there, and let's just get the bearing in, the brake disc on. We do have a wheel hub cap which is in the orange, and we've got the brake pad and a force chromed blue brake caliper on there. As you can see, it's a lot shinier and brighter than the rest of the blue. It still looks good nonetheless. Pleased with that. Looking pretty good. Let's get down the back. If I can get down there. There we go. Using that piece there. Rear knuckle in the blue, and then both of the arms in the white. Same as the front on there. Looking pretty good. One up there. Let's get you in. And then we'll move on to the shock. And then we'll move on to some of the front bits, because they are ever so slightly different. The knuckle cover is still in a white, but the wheel hub is in an orange instead of in the blue, and the reason for that is the drive axle that's going in later is in a different color. So we'll see that one in a little while. On with the brake disc, wrong side. On with the brake pad, and then that chrome blue brake caliper in there, looking good. If we just jump up a little bit, we've got the fuel tank in that lovely blue and the fuel pump in a white, because I couldn't get the shiny orange on that plastic part. That was the actual reason. But the white fitted in with everything else, so it worked really well anyway. I'm going to crack on and get the rest of the suspension all finished up. Then we'll move on to the engine bay before we go and build that beautiful V12. That's the suspension all done, looking fantastic, with an extra colour of white in there, just for a bit of good measure. Liking that, mostly in the blue, little splash of that orange, and a tiny bit of white and black, just for good measure. But let's move on, let's get the engine bay all sorted. Starting up here, we've got the wishy-washy reservoir. Over here, we've got the cheeky little brake servo, and up here is the coolant reservoir. Just below that, we've got the ABS pump in the orange, and the module just in a black on top. Don't really know if you can see this too much from the engine bay. I don't think you can see much of this from the engine bay, because that engine is absolutely massive. But just while we're up here, let's get our stage 3 ECU type A in there, and our battery in down the back as well. Back towards the front we go. What else have we got in here? Let's have a look. Got my engine crane there ready, so I don't miss out on that one today. We've got the radiator in a lovely bright orange with the fan housing kit in black, and the two fans in a chrome orange on there, looking pretty good. The two air filters on either side are both in the blue, with, when we get there, some lovely bright orange clips on them. One on there, one on there. They're not looking very bright in there, are they? They're very dull looking down here. Not that you're ever going to see these anyway. I probably wasted a little bit of time at painting them. I say wasted a little bit of time. It took me the longest ever to get everything this painted today. I don't even know the exact time, but we're talking over 2 hours to sort everything out just for the painting. So yeah, a little bit long-winded this one today. So let's get on. Let's get these clips all done. In you go, in you go, in you go. And one more just there. In you go. I think that's everything for the engine bay. Everything else is on the engine. So let's take a step away and have a quick look. Oh, you can just about see the ABS pumper module in there a tiny little bit. You can see the fuse box just up there in the blue, and you can't really see the radiator, the fans, or the fuse boxes. You can see the radiator from the front. You can't really see it. Them air filters from anywhere is what I was meant to say. But there we go. That's enough of that. Let's go and build this insane V12. I have got a lot more on it, than I normally do. The block, the pan, and both heads are officially in the same color blue, but yeah, hasn't really worked out that well. You can sort of see the resemblance in these sort of shinier pieces on there. Looking pretty good. Let's just quickly talk about what's on the inside here, though. It is already done and ready to go. We've got 2 camshaft Bs on this side, 2 camshaft As on this side. That is 5 camshaft caps per camshaft, so 10 per head, 20 in total. Then we've also got 6 spark plugs per head, 12 in total, and 4 cam gears on the end just to finish it all off. But now we got that out of the way, let's just crack on and get some of this engine together, starting with these 2 lovely timing chains in here, then a couple of pairs of shoes for this lovely Aston Martin. In you go, on you go there. One more pair. There we go. That's probably what I was going for when I started that sentence. In you go, and in you go on there. Then we've got this timing cover on the front, which is in that matched blue. You can see that matches in with the oil pan, looking quite nice on there. Pleased with that. And hopefully the shinier bits at the top sort of matches in. This has got a bit more shine to it, but that's not too bad. We can live with that. Timing covers are in a force chromed orange on there. Looking very nice. One there and one on there. If I could press the button to do it. In you go, and in you go. Now we will crack on with the rest of the front of this engine before we move on. The thermostat is in that lovely blue. The crankshaft pulley's in a black, along with both of these cheeky little idle rollers. One there and one just there. Then we've got the alternator in the orange, looking nice. Over to this side, we've got the power steering pump, also in the orange, but it's a much sort of brighter orange, less shiny, less chromed orange. There we go. Water pump down here is in that matching orange to that one. And then this does have a little black water pump pulley just on the top, just to sort of separate it all up. Then we've got the serpentine belt in a black and a belt tensioner just in the orange on there. See, the separation of the sides doesn't make it too bad that this is a lot shinier than the rest of this, but we'll live with it. Oil filter in you go, around the back. Fuel filter is in that orange. Now let's move up. Now we can. The engine head covers are in a force chrome orange. Now these are black plastic, so they don't take colour overly well. Or they look like they take colour overly well, but then when you actually drop them in, they seem like they're a totally different colour. So there we go. We went with a force chrome in the end, which then led to these being force chrome, which actually then sort of all blended in and looked nicely. Ignition coils on these are in a force chrome of that blue, just because I wanted to splash the blue on there. I was going to leave them uncoloured completely, but I changed my mind when I saw one little thing, which I'll show you in just a second. On to the beautiful intake manifolds. These are in the blue as well, looking very nice on there. And these are what made me want to change the ignition coils, because from here, you can see the ignition coils, and I think it looks pretty good with them just in a chrome blue on there. Let's get the other side on. In you go. Did I do all the ignition? I must have done. Doesn't let you put it on if you don't do the ignition coils. Then we've got 2 fuel rails, both in the cheeky orange. One's an A and one's a B, so do remember that when you're buying them. Then onto here, we've got throttles in the orange as well. Bolts are on the back, not on the front. There we go. Let's go around and get that a bit easier. On you go there. They are metallic, but they're not quite force chromed like these parts. But they have still got some shine to them and still look pretty good. Engine cover. I haven't touched this one at all because it matches in with some of the darker bits inside the engine bay. Plus, I really wanted the Aston Martin badge to still be visible on there. So we've kept that one as it is. And then the last pieces are these exhaust manifolds, which are in a beautiful force chrome orange, which, yes, along with the rest of the suspension, is in that suspension. Along with the rest of the exhaust is in that one as well. This is what you get for trying to do almost every scene in one take. We do try, but there we go. We make mistakes, but we enjoy them. I'm human, basically. It just makes you guys know that I'm human and not some AI robot built to do this for your entertainment. There we go. I am a human being, and I do enjoy playing this game. That is that beautiful engine finished. Let's go get it dropped. Let's try that again. Let's go get it dropped in the beautiful Aston Martin Vantage. In you go. Hopefully this is going to look pretty good. Get the crane put away. That looks fantastic. I am incredibly pleased with that. That looks beautiful. The oranges on the front bit, the front end there, blending into the oranges on there, the blues and the blues. It looks beautiful. I am incredibly impressed with that. But let's get it up in the air. In fact, while it's going up, we'll check out the exhaust. I have changed the color on these, and I've also changed the type of exhaust. Now, the normal exhaust that I did originally stick with just couldn't be painted. It did the same trick as in my last video, where every time I put it in the paint shop and selected it, it would disappear from my inventory, so I had to buy another one. Again, I tried it a couple of times just to see if it was a bug, even closed the game down and reopened it. and it didn't work. So I changed to the ones with the black tips, and then I changed to the one with the carbon fiber tips, and they worked the best. Absolutely fantastic. It's force chromed out, and that's what gave me the idea for the rest of the exhaust in force chrome. So let's crack on. In fact, let's go. Where do we want to go? We're going to start with the drive shaft tunnel, which is in that lovely blue on there. Really enjoy that. I think that looks fantastic. Then we'll nip round to this side and get the cheeky little starter in, also in the orange just there. And then we've got all of this exhaust section in that beautiful metallic orange. In you go. And I also love how this blends into like one piece as it goes down. I think Payne's done a fantastic job of this. It looks absolutely beautiful. There we go. And there we go. Nice little crossover at the back there, which then does blend in to the actual exhaust. I think. We'll check it in a minute. Rear gearbox is in the metallic orange. Now, you do have to take the brightness way down on these performance gearboxes to get the colour sort of matched. Didn't force chrome it. Just spent a little time at blending it. It's not perfect, but it's very, very close. Now, the drive axles, we did do them blue. I did say they were going to be blue earlier, which is why the hubs were orange on there. I just wanted the blue to go into the orange. I think it looks really nice. Let's nip around to the other side and get you in. And there we go. That's everything now. We just need to top up the wheels, get the windows tinted, and get the liquids all topped up. Looking good under here with all that exhaust. Does it actually fit? Can we not tell? What about if we go into camera mode? Woo, that was a bit jumpy. Go up to there. It doesn't actually quite connect, but you can't see it. So we're going to gloss over that and pretend that it doesn't matter anyway, because it does look absolutely awesome out there. Let's get this car back down on the ground. Down you come. Then I'm going to top up all the liquids. We're going to do some wheels, get the windows tinted, get this beautiful car outside in the sun. Well, here she is, all finished with that Payne's Aston Martin Vantage 777 edition, looking absolutely fantastic. I say finished, that is a lie, we're not quite finished. I have two more pieces to put on that I completely missed earlier. Air intake hose 1, air intake hose 2. No colour on them so that the greys match in with that engine cover. That's what I was talking about, along with the rest of these sort of plasticky bits on there as well. Looking very good, but anyway, let's talk about these beautiful rims. I've put the Vantage rims on my Vantage because, well, it makes sense to me, and they look absolutely fantastic. We've done them in that body-matched orange onto there, looking beautiful. They are the Vantage rim. At the front here is a 19-inch rim with a 285 width, a 25 profile on there, and also ET of 20 to bring it out into them wide-body wheel arches. Looking pretty good. Down at the back here, very similar. Is that clipping or is that just my eyes? That's just my eyes. Okay, there we go. So the rear rim is a 20-inch rim with a 335 width and a 25 profile, and also ET of 20 on there to bring it out into them wheel arches. Looking very, very good. Pleased with them. They are slightly different size to what's supposed to come on them. Very similar, but ever so slightly different, just to make them fit a little bit better, mostly because I put slicks on mine instead of race tires, and they're a bit thicker, a bit fatter at the top end. Looking awesome. Let's get inside and check out the beautiful interior. I love this interior. The Vantage seats are beautiful seats, perfect trim level, added additions to any sort of color combination, and then a little bit on that steering wheel as well. Plus there's loads of carbon fiber in the center console there, looking absolutely stunning. Love this interior. We've said it before, we'll say it again. Excellent job by Payne. But let's get this beautiful V12 engine started and see what it sounds like. Nice little grumble or idle and tick over there. Let's give it some gas. That V12 whine at the top end sounded fantastic. Loving that. But let's get this beast onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what this one's drag rating will be. Well, here we are then on the dyno with the Aston Martin Vantage 777 with 636 factory horsepower from that V12 engine. How much have we tuned it by? What was the increase? And what will our drag rating be? Let's have a look. A gain of 759 horsepower, 120%. Love that. More than a whole new V12 engine sloughed on top of that. Fantastic. With a drag rating of a 913, I did kind of think that would be a little bit higher, especially with just under 1,400 horsepower, 1,394. Pretty good on there. Let's go and have a look at the gearbox tuning setup for today. There she is, a 3.2 ratio, 94 kilometers an hour in a first gear, up to 393 kilometers an hour in a sixth gear there. Whether we'll quite get there is a story in and itself, but should be interesting on the drag strip nonetheless. Then we've got a fully tuned ECU, obviously no carburetors, I just point that out every time. So let's get over to the drag strip and try and tear everything apart with the Aston Martin Vantage. Here we are then at the drag strip with the Aston Martin Vantage wide body 777 edition, King of the Sands, 1 mile A-class. Pay our 1,000 entry fee, and who have we got with us today? Let's start from the top. Truck Fan is in there in the Bone Shaker Stealth. We've got a McLaren F1 wide body, Ford Mustang RTR Fastback. There's another RTR Fastback up there as well. Our friend who we can't pronounce in a car I cannot stand. I do love the DeLorean, but that is just insane. We've been beaten by that wide-body DeLorean so many times. It really upsets me. I'm really hoping Jackal beats him in the open-wheel racer. No offense, buddy, but I can't. I'm sick of seeing this car on the drag strip at the moment. Then we got the Ford F100 Drag as our first opponent today. Another one of them there, and a Unicorn Street Edition. Another wide-body DeLorean. Will you go away now? Hamad Austral S Thor Edition. Two of them. Another open-wheel racer, plus a wide-body McLaren and another Hamad Austral S Thor Edition. Let's get into it, see how we do in our first race against the Ford F100 Drag Edition. The big and beefy Ford F100 Drag in a murdered-out colour, black on black on black. Loving that, looks fantastic. Not quite as good as our blue and orange Aston Martin Vantage. Hopefully we'll be able to beat the Ford F100 Drag, but maybe not. So let's get in, let's find out, let's go. Off the line. Come on, little Aston. Into second, into third, and into fourth, all relatively quickly. We are in front at the moment, so I'll take that. And into fifth gear. Where are we going to end up with our beautiful Aston Martin Vantage today? Hopefully we get some good times down the drag strip and win a tournament. Are we going to win a tournament? The F100 Drag isn't beating us. But there we go, across the line. What have we got for our first run? 9.5 seconds to the quarter of a mile. Are you joking me? That is, yeah, not very impressed with that at all. But anyway, 9.436 seconds to the quarter of a mile, 22.254 seconds to the 1 mile, with a top speed of 389 kilometers an hour. That is a good top speed. Not quite as good as the Ford F100 Drag there at 398. Absolutely smashing us with top speed, but we just about managed to hold out through that to keep hold of the victory. So let's get into the next round and see who we're up against. Well, thankfully, Jackal did beat our friend in the wide-body DeLorean, so we don't have to race against that. I'm happy to lose to an open-wheel race car because that makes perfect sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, the wide-body DeLorean is an insane car, but I've just lost to it so many times, it's just winding me up a little bit. But anyway, our next race is against the open-wheel racer. Very high on our speederboard, third, I believe. Can't quite remember. Then we got the wide-body McLaren F1. I nearly said DeLorean then. The fastback Mustang up there. Another RTR Unicorn Street. Hamad Austral S Thor. Another open-wheel racer. And another Hamad Austral S Thor. Can we beat Jackal in the open-wheel racer? Let's get in. Let's find out. Looks like everyone's gone for the black colour scheme today. Not going to lie, though, the open-wheel racer does look pretty mean and nasty, just in black. Could do with some coloured rims, I think, or just fully black and go black on black. That would look pretty sick, but there we go. Nothing compared to our beautiful Vantage. Are we going to beat the Formula 1 car? Probably not, but let's get in. Let's find out. Let's go. Off the line. Come on, little Aston. Into second. Into third. We're pulling away. Into fourth. That seems weird, but never mind. We take fifth gear. Let's get this beast across the finish line and try and win the race against the Formula 1 car and also try and not crash into the barrier. We're still holding the lead. This doesn't feel right, but we're going to get across the line anyway. What times have we got from here? A 9.459. It's slightly worse than our first run. I think the open-wheel racer crashed, hence why it didn't finish. I think it spun out and lost control. So there we go. I will take that win, though, quite comfortably. Anyway, 9.459 seconds to the quarter of a mile. Definitely not as good as our first run there. 22.277 to the 1 mile. Again, not as good as our first run, with a top speed of 389 kilometers an hour. I was getting 9.1/9.2s while I was trialing this gearbox setup, and now I can't seem to hit them anymore. I don't know what I'm doing different, but anyway, we're into the next round, so let's crack on and see who we've got. Sorry, Jackal, your open-wheel racer wasn't quite good enough. Well, there we go. We've made it into the next round. Our next competitor is the Ford Mustang RTR Fastback. We do also have an RTR Unicorn Street and Hamad Austral S Thor Edition in there. If we make it to the final, we'll be up against one of them too. So let's get in and try and beat the RTR Fastback. Okay, that Mustang looks absolutely beautiful. I am loving that. Looking so good, especially with the bronzed wheels. It's a shame that little metal plate wasn't in bronze or black. One of the two would be fantastic. I love that. I think that looks fantastic. We're going to have to rebuild one of them at some point. But first, we've got to try and beat it down the drag strip with our beautiful Aston Martin Vantage. Let's just go. Off the line. Come on, little Aston. You can do it. Into second. Into third. We were losing, but we are pulling away now. I want to get into the final and see if all of our opponents are going to be in black cars today. Oh, I lost control a little bit there. That might have cost us. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can continue this run down to the finish line and get across the line and win this race. We can indeed. Happy with that. What have we got? 9.546 this time. We are getting even slower still. Not very happy with that at all. Very disappointed in all honesty. 22.389 to the 1 mile with a slightly slower top speed as well of 388 kilometers an hour. Well, we're into the final. I wonder if the vehicle will be black, but our first run was our fastest run so far. Hopefully our final run will be the quickest of the day. Well, we are up against another Mustang, but this time it's the Unicorn Street. Can we beat it for the final, take the championship, take our winnings, and get back to the garage? Let's get in. Let's go. There was always going to be someone that was going to ruin our completely black opponents, but that looks absolutely beautiful. Very impressed with that colour scheme. The white with the chrome, and then whatever sort of dull colour that bodywork is, but it really works. I really actually like that. I think that looks fantastic. But we've got to try and beat it with our beautiful Aston Martin Vantage. So let's get in. Final race of the day. Let's go. Off the line. Into second. That might have been a bit early. Into third. No. Come on. Come on. We are going to start pulling away from the Mustang. There we go. Catching, catching, catching. Going past. And hopefully we can stay in the front all the way down to the end and get the win in this tournament. And hopefully this will also be the quickest run of the day just to top it all off. Let's go. That looked like 389, so the right top speed, 9.429. That is better than our first runner to the quarter of a mile, 22.266. Sadly, that isn't quite our best runner to the 1 mile. Our first run was 22.254, but this one's got the better quarter of a mile speed time, so that's what we'll be going down on the speeder board. Again, with a top speed of 389 kilometers an hour. Very, very happy with that. We managed to win the tournament. Let's go back. Let's collect our winnings, get the Vantage back to the garage and see if we can sell it on for some profit. Well, there we go. Our lovely winnings of 11,250. Obviously, minus our entry fee leaves us with 10,250. I honestly didn't expect that with the wide-body DeLoreans in there. I thought we were just going to come up against one of them and just lose, because that's what seems to happen with the beautiful time machines. They go back in time and change their results to make them better than us. That was French Toast's choice of words, not mine, but I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. Let's get back to the garage and try and sell on our Aston Martin. Well, here we are then, all finished with the Aston Martin Vantage 777 edition. 43rd out of 69 on the speedo board. Definitely not as good as I thought this one was going to be. I did think it was going to be a little bit better than that. 9.429 seconds to the quarter of a mile. 22.266 seconds to the 1 mile with a top speed of 389 kilometers an hour. Still pretty good. I just thought it would be a little bit better, in all honesty, but there we go. It is what it is. Let's crack on. Let's talk some facts and figures. I bought the car for 76,375, and I could have sold it and made some profit of 6,167 at the very beginning of the episode, but obviously we didn't do that. We then spent another 98,618 modifying, upgrading, tuning, and painting this beautiful car to how you see it here today, looking absolutely fantastic. Our total spend our total spend is 174,993. Hopefully, we can make some profit from this stunning, stunning car. Well, there she is. You can see all 100% finished, looking fantastic on there. The engine ramped up to almost 1,400 horsepower, 1,394. A gain of 120% from the factory. Definitely pleased with that. Even if we couldn't quite get the speeds and times I thought we were going to from this bad boy. But with 174,993 spent, that's quite a bit. Can we make some money? We can indeed. 230,712 is the sale price, leaving us 55,719 profit, plus our 10,250 from the drag strip, puts us 65,969 profit from this absolutely beautiful Beautiful car. Loving this. Link to the livery in the description below. There are alternate colours. Please make sure you read Zaraki's description of this livery because there are other colours available. I think you can get this in green and things like that. You just have to go into the files and amend them. So do read what's in there. It does explain very well how to do all of that. We didn't go for that today because I wanted this orange one in particular. Also, link to the car by Payne in the description below as well because if you don't have this one, what are you missing out on? And if you do get this one, you will need the Aston Martin DLC for the Aston Martin engine, quite obviously. But it's time to say goodbye to this beautiful Aston and our cheeky little bit of profit. There we go. Love to make some money. What have we got next? Well, French Toast suggested doing a off-road week or a 4x4 week. So we're going to. This is what we're going to be working on next time. We're going to do the Land Rover Defender. This is the utility variant. It's a bit of a beast, and I love it. So let's see if we can get in. There we go. That place will do. As I said, it is the utility. We got it from the auction house, and yeah, that's pretty awful, isn't it? I don't think I've seen one quite that bad for quite a little while. Did we get a good deal on it, though? No. I also overpaid for this pile of garbage, but there we go. 7,263 is what we spent, and I could sell it for 6,588, losing out on 675. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll be able to make some profit from this bucket of rust, but we shall find out in the next episode. The engine in this one currently is the V8 single overhead cam FME engine with 222 factory horsepower. Do you want it to be swapped? Do you want something else to go in there? Let me know in the comments below. If enough of these, if one particular engine gets enough votes, we will 100% swap it to that one. If not, I'll just make my own mind up when we come to it in the episode. And I will say one thing, this isn't going down the drag strip. We're going to do a 4x4 week. The competition is in that week as well, so I'll be making my beautiful G-Wagon to go for the competition. I haven't really started that yet, so probably should get on with that. But there we go. Going to be all 4x4s, and they're going to be hitting a dirt track I have found on the workshop, which is going to be a bit of fun. We're going to do 2 laps of that. The first lap is a standing start. The second lap will be our flying lap, and we'll see what sort of times and compare all of the 4x4s that we're going to be doing next week against each other. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be interesting. This is going to be for next time, though. I do hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like. Let me know in the comments what engine we should build with our beautiful Land Rover Defender and what you thought of today's build of our beautiful Aston Martin and any other suggestions for future videos. If you've got a themed week you think you'd like to see us try, it is only me, just me on my own. You'd like to see me try, let me know in the comments below. Who knows? We may end up doing it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.